And I quote, "It has been a pleasure watching President Obama and the First Lady lead our country with such grace, dignity, class, and respect. President Obama spoke for the underprivileged, for women, our forgotten veterans, children, and so many voices that go unheard. I was honored to be one of a handful of artists that sit and have a roundtable discussion on how we could help achieve greatness through the culture of hip hop." Obama also utilized hip hop to help him reach and inspire so many of those voices, which is the true and original intention of our culture. That is the definition of greatness. And with greatness comes a greater America. Unquote. Man, this is the most uninformed, most out of touch, insanely leftist nonsense I've ever read. I don't know, I don't listen to Rapsody's music, but she has no idea of what's going on in this country.
What up? So, what I want to comment on is this is an article that was published by Double XL magazine a little less than a month ago uh, regarding um, lady rapper Rapsody and about her writing an essay calling out Donald Trump for his misogyny. It was really, really ironic and and really really funny about this. I pull up this article on xlmag.com, and here she is with this Tupac shirt on, like Tupac wasn't a rampant misogynist. You know, the hypocrisy in in our community in America as a whole is 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 borderline fantasy. It's something that you just can't really make up. I mean, you say this stuff and you're like, they can't really be real, but it actually is, man. It's almost pathetic. But a lot of what our current rap music is built off of is misogyny. I mean, she's signed to the Rock Nation, um, and I've been a Jay Z fan for a long time. Not so much now, but I mean, come on, these guys are misogynists in themselves. I mean, you sign to a label with a lot of rappers that are already inherently misogynist, and not necessarily because they really want to be. It's the culture that invites the behavior. So you have Rhapsody penning this treatise on Trump and talking about his comments. The comments that he made about um, grabbing them by the pussy and women letting them do whatever they want. But the reality is there are groupies around, and these groupies do invite that behavior. However, I don't want to. I definitely want to. I don't want to give people the impression that this was right. Uh, he was entirely wrong, and it is wrong to objectify women. That being said, I think people are being somewhat dishonest about male behavior in the locker rooms. As a man, I know better. Um, I could definitely say that I've done a lot of misogynist things in my life, but and I definitely don't want to. I don't want to give anybody any type of false impressions, but the being disingenuous about this reality, you just can't continue to do that. You know, Donald Trump is celebrity. Celebrities have their pick of women. Women often throw themselves at them, and you have an entire culture of women that feed off this type of stuff, and they go to these concerts, to these get-togethers, to these parties to actually have either relations or sex with these stars because you know it's the thrill of it. And I'm not just saying this just because I think this. I mean, this is documented. And I can put some articles. I'm actually going to link some articles below so you can take a look at it. But from what she said was, looking at the article, women, look yourself in the mirror. She writes, parents, look at your daughters. Brothers, look at the women you call your sister, your mother, or your grandmother. Tell them you are truly doing this for them. Give them the excuse of, oh, it's just locker room guy talk. And in the words of some of his surrogates, it's no worse than what those rappers say. Um, Look, what we must do is take responsibility for our actions. What we've done is created a culture of misogyny that continues to proliferate. And I don't think it's going to die down anytime soon. You have women on display making money off of their bodies quite easily, and it's a market for it. I mean, you have a lady on Instagram. I'm not even sure what her name is, but all she does is takes a picture of her butt, and she has over 8 million followers. Once again, I'm not excusing this, but look, man, our culture is very, very sexual. If we're going to tell one part of the story and we're going to try to disabuse people of the idea that this is warranted by women, which I definitely don't think is warranted by all women, and I don't excuse it, we must also look at the other side of it where there are women that do this for gain. Okay? I'm old enough to remember going to parties when I was younger. When I was actually in college, I can remember girls grabbing my genitals and grabbing my butt as I walked by. And I'm not a bad looking person, but that in itself, looking back, it will be considered assault. And I actually had to pry one girl off of me, strangely enough. Once again, these aren't things I'm proud of mentioning. I'm sure I've grabbed a butt or two as well in my life without necessarily my permission. The person's permission. But look, Rapsody, I know she's new on the scene, or well, maybe she's not new. She looks like she's maybe paid her dues in North Carolina. She's been around the scene a little bit, and she's finally got up there. But look, even she says that misogyny isn't a hip hop problem; it's an American problem. And then she says, "You love to attack hip hop. That's easy though. I get that. The media paints hip hop and most things dealing with black culture as the catalyst for all world problems. Very disingenuous, right there. That in itself. Um, I think that's kind of going overboard. No, they don't paint hip hop for most of the world's problems, but there is a culture perpetuated by hip hop that is detrimental to the uplift of the African American, of the black person, of the black people, of black family. This is a culture that is not conducive to an environment that actually denies misogyny. Okay. If you want to create that type of environment, if you want to go about it that way, then we must put ourselves in a position where we don't glorify it. We don't glorify sexuality to the point where women are looked at as objects all the time. And look, I have 2 daughters. You know, I have a wife, and I gotta say, man, look, I'm gonna raise them to be respectful of themselves. It's very important. We must understand where we're going with this and not continue to let it uh, be dictated to us if we don't want it. Either it's wrong or it's not. Locker room talk, Ms. Rapsody, is just that. Anybody who says that they don't say things like this in their locker room when they're with other men is a liar. And any woman, I would dare to say, I've never been in a woman's locker room, I would go so far as to say that they say similar things. So turn a mirror on yourself. Stop blaming other people for these notions of attack, because we do bear some responsibility. All right, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.